I'm going to talk about an event I did back in 2017 that God told me to do. First thing about that was God had told me to do this event, a ladies' tea. I was like, well, why you want me to do it? Because I know myself and I'm not someone who you could trust with that, because I don't want to represent you and mess up. I love you with all my heart. I honor you, God. I don't want you to choose me to do nothing, because if it's going to go wrong, it's going to be me to mess it up. So I just didn't want to put myself in a position to let God down in any way. I didn't have confidence in myself. Mainly, it was my self-esteem and who I thought I was, my worth, right? I didn't think I was worthy of representing the kingdom outwardly, I would say. So one day I was in the salon. I'm like, God, I don't know why you're choosing me. At this time, I was at Solar Salons in Charlotte. I had some amethyst in the salon, solid amethyst. God said, you see the amethyst you have all in here? And I was like, yeah. And I'm looking at him. He said, you see how rugged and rough they are? And they're, jagged and not sharp. Some of it's sharp. And it could hurt, it could hurt people. It could like poke you if you are not, paying attention with the way you grab it. And I said, yeah. And he said, that's how I see you. But I see the value in you just like that. He said, most people don't see the value in the amethyst until it's polished up and it's shiny and it's all cut and things like that and put in jewelry. Then it's adored. People love it. People pay money for it. They think it's valuable at that point. And he said, but I see the value in you when you're still like this. When you're in your purest form, when you're rough around the edges, when you're unrefined, I still see the value in you. I know what this could become. And I was just like, And he said, I don't want you to see yourself like this. I want you to see yourself like I see you, refined, polished, useful for the kingdom. And let me know that there's still value in me, even if I'm not to the point where I feel like I'm perfect, that God still wants me to say yes. Because even in my imperfection, he still could use me to inspire people and to help people and just to be a kind and a gift to people in their lives. I say that to say, those of you who clearly that God told you and asked you to step out on faith and move forward in your purpose and do what you're supposed to do, no matter the age. Go ahead and do it. Prepare yourself to do it just like you are, because when God says yes, who could tell you no, right? When God chooses you, who could say you're not right and fit for the job? God knows what he's doing. And if he said yes, then it is a solid yes. I went on to do this event. So my next excuse, let me say, was, God, you want me to do this event? He said, yes, I want you to do an event for women. A tea party event was what came to my head. I'm going to do a tea party event. And he said, I want it to be free of charge. I want you to feed them, have some speakers there, give out awards. I'm like, I can't do all of that. I was like, I can't do that. I can't fund all of that. I'm not going to be able to accomplish all of that. I got to buy everything for the tea party, rent the space, all of this stuff. And he said, if you trust me, you're not funding anything. I am. I put an Evite out for 50 women and 48 women came. I provided all the food, all the drinks. I had a couple of people who came as vendors to kind of like sell their things if they wanted to. Didn't charge them anything for any space or anything. I got the beautiful event hall that we used. I provided gift bags for every person who came and cake treats for them to take home in addition to their gift bags. Not only that, I was able to do prizes. So I gave away gift cards, all kinds of things. I gave 3 awards away. One award was for wisdom. The wisdom represented my Aunt Carolyn because she imparted so many things into me. She's since passed on, but she's still with me all the time. The second one was strength. That was for my mother. And the third one was courage, because that was for me. And it was hard for me to even put myself in that position as being courageous, because I was always afraid. Every time I had to do something, I was always afraid. So it was hard for me to even see myself in a place of, I make you think I ain't got no self-esteem, but I'm just telling the truth. It was hard for me to see myself as courageous. Other people would say certain things about me, but I was just like, I was scared the whole time. Y'all just don't know. I barely made it. Every table had fresh flowers. I had 3 speakers come and speak. And I would have to let you know that I paid for all of it through God's blessings. Every dime of it came out of my pocket. And it was God's blessings. I didn't do without. I didn't sacrifice anything for my children. I didn't sacrifice anything. I had more. It was like, it wasn't, you remember in the Bible when the ladies, he said, how many vessels do you have? Bring me all your vessels. Bring me all your vessels. And they were collecting all these vessels. And she said, I don't have enough oil for that. And he said, get all the vessels. All the vessels. They was filling them up with oil, filling them up with oil, filling them up with oil. Never ran out of oil. They ran out of vessels before they ran out of oil. That's what it was like. Like I had way more than enough. Way more than enough. Anytime I had another idea, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to provide this. All of it came to pass. When I said how I'm going to do this without any help, I had friends help. I had family members help. I had people come into town to support me and stuff. So I say these things to say, God will meet you where you are. Number 1, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be available and willing. Number 2, if he tells you to do it, he is going to provide everything you need to accomplish it. You won't do without, you won't lack, you won't be missing anything, you'll have more. Try to ask God to let you see yourself the way he sees you and not the way we see ourselves. So I'm here to tell you, step out on faith. 2026 is going to be an amazing year for a lot of people. There are some people who God has been nudging to do certain things. And like me, you're not listening and you haven't been listening. But he's saying and sending me to tell you it's time to listen and it's time to do it, because you are the only thing holding you back. It's not him. And the enemy don't have no power. So let God be for you and let your enemies be scattered. You know what I mean? Let God fight that battle and decide what you're worthy of and how he chooses to use you, and just be available and just be obedient. So yeah, I hope that helps somebody to move on and move out and get out of their own way.